Hi everyone, my name is Rosemary Howell. I'm the Associate Curator and Collections Manager here at the Holter Museum of Art. We're here today to talk a little bit about The Fence in the Hole and Other Dualities, which is an exhibit by ceramic artist Arthur Gonzalez. This exhibit is on view in our High Gallery right here from July 3rd to September 23rd, and we are open for regular business hours, but this video is to just let some of you at home that are more comfortable at home right now during these times also see the exhibit. We've got a lot of really amazing work in here, a huge variety of materials and ideas, so we really hope that you get to come in and see the work in person, but for those of you at home, we hope this video suffices, so thank you. The Fence in the Hole and Other Dualities by Arthur Gonzalez is a series of works that spans 20-year making career. Arthur has been an artist since his youth. He started as a painter, which you can definitely tell from some of the work, and transitioned more into ceramics and found objects as he transitioned throughout his career. This exhibit is to create more questions than answers. Arthur doesn't want to tell people how to think. He wants to provide his own personal symbols and let the viewer create the narrative from there. For instance, you'll see a lot of drawings and sculptures of an inner ear. That is used to symbolize balance or the consciousness. There's also a lot of fire in this exhibit. When you see fire, it's talking about passion, a passion for life, not necessarily always a destructive fire, but something to look forward to, a passion, a drive. There are also a lot of symbols of open books with red dots in the middle, and that's used to symbolize the unknown in this instance. So basically he's got all of these very specific visual symbols that are used from his memories, his ideas, the way he thinks about the world, and then he inserts the figures where the figures are kind of props for those symbols, and then he allows you to create the narrative from that. A piece that really draws me in, and it's kind of juxtaposed to another piece as well, is the piece, The Skeptic. So this piece is really interesting for me because he's using a young girl to talk about wisdom and disconcertingness and skepticism. And so we think of, Arthur was thinking of the Bible story of doubting Thomas. He had to put his fingers directly into the wound to believe that Jesus was crucified. And this piece is talking about a similar narrative where this young girl, she needs to feel, to stick her hand in to believe, what's actually going on. She's not going to just go off of blind faith, but she really needs to get into the main idea and what's going on. So this piece is kind of juxtaposed with Stink Eye, which is kind of the opposite archetypal little boy who is self-destructive and kind of using his own rebelliousness to, in some ways, ruin his life, right? So he's kind of a punk guy. He's got the rat fink drawn on the back of his sweater. The pedestal itself is actually a butcher block, so whenever you're thinking about, meat and hacking away, and it's kind of a violent act. He's got a tree that he's holding in his hand with Arthur's personal pocket knife collection, and again the open book with the two red dots. It's kind of talking about the unknown, and here in his hand is more red, which could symbolize blood, which is kind of like the unknown, and he's kind of attacking his own future in a way. So I really enjoy the way Arthur is kind of juxtaposing these two archetypal characters of the wise young girl who needs to see it to believe it, and the rebellious young boy. And again, you'll see a lot of found objects, collected objects, objects of Arthur's personal possession in this work. So the main figure is ceramic, but the tree that he's holding is actually the root of a rose bush, and all of those knives again are his personal pocket knife collection. So you'll see that throughout the entire exhibit. Found objects, there's blown glass. It's really interesting the way he pairs all of his materials. So I did also just want to point out a piece called Truth or Consequence. This sculpture is a 20-year-old sculpture and hasn't been shown very much. But this obvious piece on top of it that draws so much attention, especially in today's times, looks like coronavirus. So this piece was actually, the piece that looks like the virus was actually gifted to Arthur by a student 20 odd years ago. That he made the piece, and then now it's got this reinvigorated new meaning in this day and age. It's become a piece of the times. So I just feel like a lot of that is happening throughout Arthur's work. There are things that he's taken from his studio, from other people, things that he's found in his yard, for instance, the rose bush, and it just keeps layering on top of itself. You know, he doesn't make the entire piece from start to finish. You know, he makes the head, and then he'll find something else to attach it to, and he's constantly reworking the meaning of all of his objects and things like that. So please, I hope everybody does get to come in and see the show in person. There's nothing like quite seeing all of this work, all of the materials come together in reality. So please come in. It's a very interesting exhibit.